Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I wanted to go through my monthly favorites for the month of March. So we're approaching the end of the month and yeah, I have a lot of good plants that I've been super obsessed with this month and I just want to show you guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And yeah, let's just jump right into today's video. So I actually don't have any Hoyas for this month that I'm super obsessed with, but I do have a lot of Aroids. So for all you Aroid lovers, you'll definitely enjoy this video. And I'll kick off with this beautiful philodendron GIGAS. So this is my beloved GIGAS, which I love so much. It's like literally 10 times better than a melanochrysum. Its leaves are softer, its leaves are bigger. The only thing that I find is like slightly different is there's a lack of lobes, so it's more like a rounded top. But just look at how dark these leaves can be. Oh my god, they're actually the softest things I've ever felt in my life. This new leaf is also emerging and trying to unfurl, so look at that beautiful like orangey color. It'll soon fade to this dark green, and yeah, this is a little bit smaller in leaf size compared to its previous leaf, and that's because we are still in the middle of winter and I did recently propagate this plant, so it did have a little bit of adjusting to do, and you know, it's a little bit set back due to the chop and the propagation, but it's rooted really well now. There's some pretty good roots that are showing on the side of the pot. There's even a root that's like sticking out through a drainage hole at the bottom, so I'm pretty sure that this is rooted really nicely, and it has a beautiful moss pole that I've made by myself and DIY'd it, that it's growing up on and climbing, so it's just living its best life, and I'm so excited for this GIGAS for it to finally bounce back. I recently did a kind of a chop and a propagation because I wanted two separate GIGAS, so the other one is, you know, still growing. It's like trying to push out a new leaf, but that one is already rooted, and I found that it was just getting a little too tall and the bottom leaves were kind of like dying off, so it was getting leggy, and I thought it would be a good idea to propagate, and I was right. So yeah, that is my philodendron GIGAS. Let's move on to the next plant, which is, let me grab it. The next plant is my philodendron PASTAZANUM, so the pillow philodendron, meaning it's literally fluffy as hell. It is so like just pillowy and like beautiful. It's essentially a better version of a GLORIOSUM in my opinion, although it's not velvety. It doesn't have any sort of like velvety soft texture, but it's like a thinner version of a monstera leaf, but it's like just very cloud-like, if it makes sense. So I really like it. I like how it's very heart-shaped and it's so nice. It doesn't really have like super contrasting veining, but I don't really mind it. So it's also a crawler, which is similar to a philodendron gloriosum, but I find that the PASTAZANUM is actually a lot easier to grow compared to a gloriosum, but that's just my opinion, and also based on my own experience with my gloriosum getting hit by thrips, but I just can't give enough love to this PASTAZANUM. It's rooted really well, and I actually recently just adjusted the plant and brought it up in the leca so that it's not kind of sitting too deep, because all the roots were coming out of the drainage holes and the drainage slits. So that tends to happen over time with leca plants. The roots kind of grow towards the water reservoir. I don't like it when too many roots are sticking out through the drainage holes, because at some point you'll have to like cut open the pot in order to like adjust your plant. So I do it when I start seeing like, you know, a few roots peeking out, and that way it prevents any root breakage when you're like readjusting the plant and like bringing it up in the pot. I really like this plant. It's my 3-leaf plant with a growth point, so I can't wait for a new leaf to come out. Ooh. I'm always dropping leca, and that is why there's always leca on my ground, because I drop it and I don't pick it up. So yeah, I can't wait for this to grow more for me, and I will have a nice beautiful big PASTAZANUM. This is the leaf that I originally came with. So this one leaf, which is pretty ugly, and now I have 3 beautiful leaves. So this one is perfect. This one is also another perfect leaf, and I'm just waiting for my 3rd perfect leaf. So taking a little break from all the Aroids I'm showing you guys, I want to show you my beautiful orchid. So this is my Dendrobium UEANG. I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's very hard to pronounce, so I'll just leave the name on the screen. But this is the beautiful plant. It's so adorable. It kind of reminds me of a cattleya instead of a dendrobium. I don't tend to do really well with dendrobiums, but this one is actually like growing really well. I think it's almost like doubled in size, so it's grown a lot of new like little shoots, and there's so many aerial roots, and I'm pretty sure it's like rooted really well into the pot. I see even a root coming out of the drainage hole. So I got this from Crystal Star Nursery maybe about like half a year ago. I repotted it into this pot, and I think probably at some point I'm gonna have to repot it again. I mainly wanted to show you guys this plant because it's currently housed in my beautiful, beautiful cat pot. So this is the cat planter that I bought off a local seller from Etsy. I'll leave her name on the screen, but this is my wonderful pot and I love it so much because I love cats. As you guys know, I'm always wearing cat shirts, although not today. And I have just like a lot of cat things in my life, and I have 2 cats. So it is only fitting to have a cat pot to kind of go with it. So this is the plant and planter combo that I'm just way too obsessed with this month, and I just keep staring at it. Kind of looks like the cat has hair. I don't know if like you guys like that, but I always go for these like face pots so that I can have like the plant growing out the top and making it look like hair. Although it hasn't flowered and I don't see any signs of it flowering, I'm still really happy with this plant and I love it so much. Next up, I want to show you is back to Aroids, and it is my Monstera Thai Constellation. So this is the beloved plant that I have. So it has 3 leaves, although one is super, super tiny. This is the first leaf that came out in my care after the propagation, so after the little chop. And then this leaf came out. So this one is a much more beautiful leaf. And even though it's a little bit smaller than its original leaf, I think it's like slowly getting there given that it's winter. And the roots are really, really nice. So that's why I really like using these clear plastic takeout containers, because you can see the root growth and it's really good for leca plants because you could just like see where the water reservoir hits. So I usually put this inside another cover pot, but I don't mind it just kind of sitting like this. Also has a moss pole that is growing up and another pole that I have DIY'd, and it is amazing. I love kind of the look of these like really straight and like finished looking moss poles, as opposed to like my old moss poles but looked really wonky and like it would kind of like tip over and it was just not good. But these moss poles are really, really nice. And I love my Thai Constellation. I at some point actually debated on whether or not I should get rid of my Thai Constellation because it was giving me so much trouble. It was rotting on me, it didn't adjust well to the leca, and I was just like, you know what, maybe I should just give up on this plant. But I'm glad I didn't because I'm loving it all over again. So I think I've had this for almost a year now and doing really, really well now. Last plant I want to show you guys is this plant that I haven't shown you in quite some time, and this one is the Philodendron Gloriosum. So this is my Gloriosum, which was hit by thrips. It was originally a really big plant. I chopped it up just to kind of save the plant in case, you know, the thrips took over and I would lose the entire plant. I didn't want that. So this was a 1-leaf cutting that I had, and you know, the leaf is pretty damaged from the thrips and it's still alive somehow, so I really am grateful for this leaf because it provided energy for another leaf to come out, which is this beautiful leaf. So this leaf looks pretty good, honestly. It's a little bit smaller, but I mean, I'm not complaining because at least it's growing and I see roots kind of coming out through the top, and there's also another growth point. So maybe at some point this growth point will turn into a new leaf, but for now it has stopped growing. But it took probably like I think like 8 months for it to like shoot out a new leaf, so I'm not gonna complain that this leaf is a little bit smaller because at least it grew a leaf, right? So that's why this is one of my favorites for this month, because it only recently came out with this leaf, and I've been admiring my Gloriosum recently so that I can give it more love and stop putting it off to the side because it was hit with thrips and I absolutely had a nightmare dealing with the thrips. Those are pretty much the plants I wanted to show you guys for the month of March. These are definitely my favorite plants, top plants that I'm looking at literally every single day and admiring and just touching and petting and just loving it. So I love these plants. I hope you guys will comment down below which one is your favorite plant for the month, because I'd love to know. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.